I found out my dad is cheating on my mom and she has no idea. Welcome to Castable. Friends, comment what you think about this story, share your experiences, also give me like, subscribe and click on the bell for more Castable stories. Throw away for obvious reasons. The other day I found evidence that my dad is cheating on my mom with his secretary. 2 nights ago he texted her a lot and talked to her about how hot he is. He said he would leave my mom in a heartbeat and that he wishes he married her instead. They dated back in the 90s before he met my mom. I also found a naughty toy in his office, as I work for him part-time. I found texts of him writing poems to her about her breasts and her lips. It devastated me to read, and when I subtly asked my mom about their marriage she said it has been rough, but she denied any idea that he would cheat. She claims deep down he is a good person and loves her, so she doesn't think he would cheat. Their marriage has been rocky for years, really as long as I, 21M, can remember. He has threatened divorce constantly, and when my mom had COVID last Christmas he left for a week so he wouldn't get sick. My mom, a breast cancer survivor, was then left virtually alone for the week to deal with the virus herself. My dad is texting and calling his secretary constantly, long after business hours, sometimes even at 3 a.m. They often go on 2+ hour lunch breaks together during work. Sometimes I'm in the car, I can see him texting her when I'm sitting in the back seat. He sends hearts to her and updated her on his every move. I don't know what to do, but I know I can't sit by and watch this get worse. Does anyone have advice? Opinions? 1. Watching your post, but not sure what to do or what to say either. Your mom deserves far better and your father has already done enough to merit divorce. No matter how I look at this, whether there is a divorce or not, your mother is and will suffer for a time, but with your support and a divorce she will likely improve in strength and emotional wellness over time. This is not a good relationship for anyone to be in, and your father seems to have totally checked out without any concern or care for your mother, or for you who are also affected by his betrayal and selfishness. Have you ever approached your father on the subject to try and bring up the awful things he is doing? OP, no, he has no idea that I know, but I think I need to confront him about it. He's a very headstrong man and rarely admits when he is wrong. However, he respects me a lot more than he respects my mom. The worst part is, since I found out he has talked at dinner about how he has recommitted his vows with my mom while on vacation a few years ago. I have a feeling this has been going on for years. 2. To be blunt. This news will destroy her, but you can be there to help her pick up the pieces. Gather evidence of the long-term affair, she will need it if she wants a divorce. He might even suggest it first and serve her papers to be with his mistress. That is actually very likely. I cannot even imagine the pain you feel on top of all this. Your mom will really need you and other family to not completely fall apart. Jesus tells us marriage makes 2 people one, and that oneness is very, very painful to separate. It is like someone has died, and that someone is the being that marriage created. Divorce is awful, horrible and painful, even when it is justified. Getting a lawyer is not an option in a divorce case. Source: work for lawyer but not family law. Seriously, get one. That lying person should pay alimony. He left his wife with a previous cancer diagnosis while she was sick. Unbelievable. He probably is waiting for any chance to run. My heart breaks for you and your mom. Please find support in your local church. It will be needed. OP, thank you for the support. The difficult thing is, he's an attorney himself. While he doesn't specialize in family law, he has handled a few divorce cases in the past. He often leaves when he gets stressed and goes and smokes a cigar in his car when my mom specifically asks him not to. When I found out he left when she was sick, I was livid. I was out of town at the time, but I considered flying home to take care of her. Thankfully she didn't have anything beyond a bad headache and a horrible sore throat. My mom is a fighter and very strong. In the rage and worry he pushed my mom out of the way as he was storming out of the house to go stay at the Ritz-Carlton. Update to my unfaithful father. Thank you so much to everyone who gave advice and prayed for my family. Last night I confronted my dad. I went into his bedroom privately and told him I know what he is doing. Naturally, as in line with his character, he denied everything. He even laughed when I said I know he is writing love poems to his mistress. After constantly being interrupted, I was able to say that for my mom's sake I was going to allow him a single opportunity to tell her and confess. He interrupted me again and told me to go get her and he'll tell her right then. I was shocked, but I called her in. When she sat down on their bed, he said, "OP is saying I'm having an affair with mistress." My mom responded, "Well, are you?" He exclaimed back, "No. Of course not." At that point I was livid, as he just lied to my mom after I confronted him about it. I said, "Oh really, so explain these texts." I then started reading a large amount of text messages I found from as recently as 2 days ago. They were very graphic and evidence of an affair. My mom was obviously shocked and started to tear up. My dad then tried to turn the blame on my mom and said, "Tell Opie what you know. Tell him." This was him trying to shift responsibility onto my mom, as I found out later my mom caught him a year ago calling this woman beautiful on a Facebook post. Thus, my dad tried to make it seem like he wasn't in the wrong because my mom already knew. Of course, she didn't know about this and was heartbroken. When she found that text a year ago, she demanded all communications between him and his mistress be kept strictly professional. He then continued to blame her and even said that she was okay with these texts. My mom and I said these texts are erroneous and evidence of an affair. He denied it and said he has not had relations with this woman, which I highly doubt since I found an erotic toy in his office that my mom did not know about. After a lot of denial I said, "Dad, this is adultery and the Bible makes it very clear in the 10 Commandments." To my shock he said, "I'm pretty sure the Bible doesn't mention text messages anywhere." I couldn't believe it. He was acting like a young child caught in a lie. While I was reading texts I could slowly see his smile fade away and turn into horror as he knew he was caught. However, this was much worse than I could have ever thought. I knew my dad and his mistress dated, but I didn't know he actually proposed to her before he met my mom, and she said no. I asked him when the affair started and he said, 1989, 3 years before he met my mom. He has been texting, sleeping with, and doing all sorts of horrible things their entire marriage. I later found out from my mom that my dad had a one-night stand when we were living in another state about 20 years ago. She didn't believe him at the time and said in shock, "You're kidding," to which he said, "Oh yeah, totally kidding." My father claimed that I had told him everything last night, but I knew it was a lie because he also denied about the erotic toy and said, "Oh, I think it's the mistress. Yeah, I think maybe it was hers. I was just holding it for her. I don't know what it is." I found it in his desk hidden away. When my mom demanded he apologize he said, "I'm sorry." She asked, "Are you sorry you got caught or are you sorry you did it?" "Both," he responded. My mom said that's the worst thing about it, he refused to own up to it and kept making excuses. My dad then left to go buy my mom flowers, and when he came back he even bragged about how he was the only one who could be flowers because the store system was down. So even when he was caught red-handed for breaking one of Jesus' most sacred laws, he still tried to act like a hero. After they went back to the bedroom I heard him say, "What, and Opie just assumes you didn't do anything. Why won't you ever take out?" Before my mom cut him off and said, "No. I have been a faithful wife and never even once considered doing something. Don't you ever mention him again or I'm going to get Opie back in here and read me more of those texts." She came out of the bedroom a few moments later and I asked her what that was. She said that my dad has been trying for years to get her to fall in love with other men in order to get even. He has even asked her on many occasions who she likes at her work. She said everyone she works with is my age, let alone that's immoral. Needless to say, last night was crazy and a huge shock. It seems like everything is back to normal, as within an hour after all of this they were watching TV. Thanks again to everyone for your support. Even in the pain, Jesus is turning this to good for his glory. Friends, comment what you think about this story, share your experiences, also give me like, subscribe and click on the bell for more castable stories. Opinions. 1. Your mom needs to leave your dad. I'm speaking as a Huaband, a follower of Christ, and a pastor. He has committed continued and unapologetic adultery, he is gaslighting you both, and he is clearly unrepentant. Tell your mom to call a lawyer. She is going to need solid legal support. The longer she waits, the harder it will be. 2. I had flashbacks reading your post. But it troubles me that the day after your dad was exposed for being unfaithful and deceitful, everything is back to normal. And that your dad doesn't sound the least bit remorseful. OP, he's not even remotely sorry. My dad claims to be Calvinist. I don't have anything wrong with Calvinists and even know extremely faithful and devout followers of Jesus that are Calvinists, and so he twists that theology to mean that because he believes he is one of the elect, he can do no wrong and will get into heaven no matter what. I'm praying hard for his salvation and that he would come to know Jesus, because I don't see the fruit in his life. My mom said 10 years ago he had divorce papers filled out sitting in his desk for a long time. 3. I'll pray for your mom, OP. That's really rough to go through not once, but multiple times. It sounds like your dad never truly repented before, and although I'm not an advocate for divorce, it may be a good idea for your mom to separate from your dad. Sometimes people think the grass is greener on the other side because they are looking at it from afar. But when they get to the other side they see it's either patchy or plain dead. Your dad might need to see how it really is living without your mom, and your mom probably needs some space to thoroughly heal. Like I said, this is a really tough spot to be in altogether, but you did the right thing giving your dad a chance to come clean himself before you spoke the truth to your mom. May Jesus be with both of you. OP, thank you for your prayers. She is trying to work through it, she feels so hurt and lost. My dad has accrued a lot of debt, and so if she was to leave she would basically be starting at square one. I told her she can move in with me no charge and she said she will consider it. 4. Thank you for sharing about this. You and your mom can rest assured that your dad will have to face our Lord in the end, and he will have to answer to his sins. OP, yeah, and I'm praying he will be convicted by the Holy Spirit and turn to Jesus. In the end Jesus will have his justice. That may mean Jesus acts as his substitute or he pays for it himself. Only Jesus knows. 5. People suck. I hope you can realize that as you look at your father differently from now on. I'm sure there's always more to the story than what you know, but obviously that doesn't make this right. I just hope you can show compassion and forgiveness towards your father and understand we are flawed and broken, like your own Lord and Savior would do. OP, yeah, I'm trying. I'm praying for him a lot and that the Lord would help me love and forgive. It's hard, really hard, and things are going to be different. I can't control his actions, but I can control mine. Jesus is good. Friends, comment what you think about this story, share your experiences, also give me like, subscribe and click on the bell for more castable stories.